Yo, what is good, party people? It is your boy GZTV. We are here. We are basically on week 2 is what I want to call it, because we are here with episode 2 of Euphoria season 3, the final season. This is already way better than episode 1. I'm going to say that, and I'm going to have some opening thoughts and then just go into different topics at hand, one at a time. I wouldn't say the show found itself or anything, because let's be real, Sam Levinson knows exactly what he's doing. Like, I don't think there was ever any point where the show felt lost or anything like that, but this episode, there's actually stuff to talk about now. Characters are starting to kind of establish themselves with the audience, with kind of their post-high school lives. So there's a lot more to talk about. There's a lot more storylines we're exploring. This is a way more eventful episode, I would say, than episode 1. And it feels a lot more alive than the first episode. And I really enjoyed it. It's a really fun hour of television. So with that being said, let's get into it. First off, I kind of wanted to talk. There's no good or bad or like reviews or overall things like that. I'll obviously post a short to like advertise this. But getting into my first topic at hand, which is talking about Alamo, which is talking about Marshawn Lynch, aka Beast Mode's hand in this. Just the whole crime side and bringing this Breaking Bad energy. I love everything going down with Alamo and Beast Mode. I was very skeptical, and I saw like the actor post on Instagram for Alamo, and he was super pumped about his role and stuff. I don't even care how ridiculous it is at this point. It's just fun. I feel like I'm starting to let go of that sentiment from the first review to where, oh, this is fucking stupid. We're kind of breaking away from the groundedness of the show. I don't really feel like that anymore. The banter, the way they talk to each other, the whole dynamic, it is absolutely entertaining. It is some of my favorite parts of the first 2 episodes of the show so far. The phone call with Laurie was amazing. Me and my dad were actually watching this together, and obviously my dad hasn't been watching some of the other Euphoria episodes with me because I've been off at school, but without context even, that scene was fucking hilarious. Not even because of what was said, just like the reaction. Like, you can tell this dude is weighing over his head, and he's playing this mobster, playing this big macho tough guy. I mean, obviously what was said was racist. He had every right to react the way he did. His reaction was fucking funny. Like, seriously. Still trying to act like he's got control and stuff. And Bishop kind of sits there. It's a really good trio. It's a really fun dynamic. Bishop's kind of just sitting there. He'll nod. He's kind of like the yes man of the whole thing. If we're going full Breaking Bad with this storyline, sign me up. I mean, obviously there's other things that pique its head throughout this episode as well, and we will touch on that in a second. So here we go. Next up, kind of just getting into Rue as a character, obviously played by Zendaya. She is the main character of the show. We kind of have to put her front and center. Just the whole chaos that is coming with her character this season. She's going through a lot of shit. Like, her life is moving at millions of miles an hour, and obviously she dealt with that in prior seasons of the show with like her addiction and stuff. But I think it's really awesome. Like, this whole different world. She's seen prostitutes, she's seen drug trades, but the world of strippers and running a lucrative business, doing drugs with it, it's like, she's just a mess. I mean, like, what are we doing here? She's just getting thrown deeper and deeper into this world, and half the time you're like, how are you even still alive right now? She almost got shot in the fucking head by Alamo in the first episode, and there's these bitches wronging her, like throwing shit at her. She's having sex with all sorts of strippers and whores. That's kind of what makes it entertaining, though. She's kind of living a somewhat rock star lifestyle. She's kind of living a life she's always wanted to live, and obviously you like that for her character. Now, she is going down a dark path. I think a lot of the stuff that she is doing this season is going to lead to nothing but deception, but you like it for her because she is having an absolute blast. She's getting paid every day. It's chaotic, it's messy, it's definitely not rounded again like the old Euphoria, but I can't lie, I am absolutely enjoying this. I've grown to really love where they are taking this show, especially with the character of Rue. Getting into Jules, I'm not really sure. On the contrary, I don't really know. I don't really like her reintroduction into the story. Now, obviously, there's this whole resentment because people are talking down on her, saying she's a sugar baby and saying she's a hooker and all this stuff. So it's understandable why she feels kind of disdainful, why she feels kind of like offstandish. She doesn't really want anything to do with Rue. Like, she's politely kind of like giving her the cues, like, please fucking leave. It's a confusing situation when Rue goes over to her apartment, and it's this nice ass fucking place, and she tells Rue to come in here, you're gonna keep me company. She just feels kind of dry, even though what happened at the end of the episode is kind of hinting at things. Maybe that's because she matured, maybe that's kind of intentional by the writers, but she lost that energy that made her stand out before. Now she kind of feels like she's just there, and that sucks because I actually like the character, and I like what Hunter Schafer kind of did with her in the original 2 seasons. It just feels like the writing isn't giving her anything right now. Again, Hunter Schafer is so fucking talented. I feel like she's kind of being shortchanged here. Maybe she's over the show. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know if it's her performance or the writing. If this is all we're getting from her, I don't even know what her role is in the story anymore. I don't even know the point of keeping her around and like trying to force this relationship on us. It's fine for that to end in the first 2 seasons. Like, let's move on if it's gonna be like this. And I think with Nate and like that party he had with the investors and all the drama that's coming with things, I think classic Euphoria is kind of returning to form. And obviously in the first episode, I wasn't a huge fan of what was going on with Nate and Cassie and their relationship relationship. I think this is where the episode really hit though for me. I think this is some of the best parts. Nate's storyline. I'm actually really intrigued to watch Nate kind of venture through this adult life and operate this business while also dealing with a wife that could ruin their social image. The party, the investors, his dad creeping back into his life, all the pressure he's kind of dealing with. This is the Euphoria drama I was waiting for, and we'll kind of talk about like how Nate is kind of going on a downward spiral here in a second, but Cassie's obviously still doing dumb shit, so that doesn't fucking help. She's still ignorant as fuck. Honestly, I don't even know if she was this ignorant in the original show, but they're really going for it here. Embarrassing herself at this event, showing people her phone like that, like all these lewd ass pictures of herself she's taking, thinking she's like killing it as the social media star. Some people want it, like that's a good thing. That's the kind of stuff that spreads fast, obviously, and it like spreads quick throughout the party. They show it in the episode, and now Nate has to clean it up, make deals, control the situation, but you can already tell there's definitely a storm of brewing, and I'm very excited to see how they handle the wedding between these two with everyone from high school being invited. It's gonna be fucking crazy. Just continuing on with Nate, now he's kind of spiraling. I love that he's starting to spiral again. You see in past seasons, Nate was dealing with a lot of shit. His dad was a closeted homosexual. He had the whole situation with Maddy and that relationship falling out, and then him getting with Cassie, and then Cassie and Maddy kind of falling out. That kind of falling back on him, getting into a domestic dispute and like getting criminal charges put against him. Because every time that happens in the show, something crazy goes down. And this show, like a lot of the chaos is centered on Nate going through some shit, like getting his ass beat by Fez. It's a snow pile. Whether he's getting exposed, getting into fights, dealing with legal stuff, that's when Euphoria is at its best. I am absolutely here for that. I know it's kind of fucked up to like pray for a character's downfall, but this is the driving force that makes Euphoria what it is. And just getting into the setup with Maddy and Cassie, just kind of their relationship for the season, what they're setting up here with episode 2. Now that they're reconnecting, that's not gonna end well, but at the same time, it's gonna stir up some drama. It's gonna cause some things to happen. It's really moving this story forward. Just this reconnection. Old friends turned foe. Maddy definitely has something up her sleeve. She's not stupid. She absolutely knows how to navigate this world of social media, which we've already seen in the short time we spent with her character throughout this season. Obviously, Cassie is an idiot, and now Nate knows they're back in each other's lives while he's already dealing with everything else. That is a disaster waiting to happen. And I really like Maddy, by the way. I think Maddy is a phenomenal character. Alexa Demi, such a boss bitch, killing it as Maddy in this season so far. The way she's navigating it. This is the first time I actually bought into her new arc, because in the first episode, I did kind of think like in high school, she was kind of like a dumbass popular girl, like a dumb blonde while not being a blonde. I'm totally buying into it now. Like she knows her shit. For a while in the episode, she managed like this OnlyFans model who ended up getting into a relationship with the actor she was managing. She's gone through a bunch of shit, and I think what is happening with her trajectory overall has been absolutely fantastic. Her getting talked to by her boss, who's like this other recruiting talent person. It's crazy. Getting into Cal's return, which was a pretty big part that I'm sure a lot of people are going to talk about. Seeing him again, I absolutely loved it, because obviously Cal Jacobs isn't the most likable character from the original show, but who doesn't like Eric Dane? Seriously, rest in peace. God rest his soul. He seemed like such a good dude. You saw him on screen, you could tell this could be a father, this could be a friend. It was good to see him back, even if it's a little uncomfortable watching where his character is at. Obviously, he just went through basically getting registered as a sex offender, and everyone kind of looking at him as that, dropping his business to Nate, who's the much more unintelligent son of his. But that's not new. I mean, that's always been Cal. We've always known he's had a lot of scandalous shit going on behind the scenes. It's not like they came up with this story, pulled it out of their ass the second he died. It's not out of disrespect. It's just kind of continuing his character, and I think appropriately they're doing so. I'm curious to see how much they keep using him going forward, kind of as a side character, kind of peeking his head into Nate's life. It'll be kind of interesting to see that. And just kind of getting into some final thoughts about like the tone, and then we can maybe get into the outro of the video. I think the show is definitely leaning into that Breaking Bad style. I hate to keep drawing the comparison, because pretty much in every episode review, you're probably going to hear the show Breaking Bad mentioned. But at this point, that is exactly what the show is going for. It's going for some batshit insane. I'm still a little bit hesitant. Obviously, I loved Breaking Bad. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. So, I mean, if they balance it right, this could actually be really fun. There's obviously some problems with, hey, maybe they should have made it like this the whole fucking time. And a complete tonal shift for a season can be a little bit off-putting. But so far, I really don't mind it, because I think we got a really good episode with episode 2 here. So let's just kind of get into the outro. So kind of just like my core thoughts getting into the review. Right now, Euphoria is breaking away from what it used to be. Certainly. It's a totally different ball game with this show, but it's also bringing in elements that I think a lot of fans are going to love from the original show. I do think there is an element to the show so far that is really sticking to their roots, and I can really appreciate that. Now, I'm not going to give any number ratings to this episode or anything. I'm not going to take it super critically, but honestly, honestly, what they're trying to do with Euphoria right now, I do think they're trying to be taken seriously as a more artistic, as a more cinematic masterpiece rather than just a Gossip Girl show. And maybe that's what Sam Levinson had in mind, I'm not sure. As long as it doesn't forget its roots, as long as it can break away and introduce all these new characters and crazy stories and put some of the core Euphoria characters through situations they never could have imagined being put through, it could definitely be something special. It could definitely be one of the best seasons of the show. And it's kind of crazy saying that because I definitely wouldn't have had that sentiment after watching episode 1. But this episode really showed me some things because now that the characters again are all kind of established, there's a lot of really cool things going forward. Like, what is Rue gonna have to do to keep her job at this strip club? How is the turf war between Laurie and Alamo, which we didn't really cover much in this episode, going to end up? Faye obviously has this romance with this guy. Is she gonna be left in the shadows? Is Rue's mom gonna come back in her life again? There's still even some characters. Angus Cloud's character Fez still hasn't been reintroduced into the fold. So it's gonna be cool to see how these little things come together and how the story kind of progresses. But with that being said, I'm out. I'm going to fucking bed. It has been your boy GZTV. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you go follow the socials. I tweet all sorts of different updates. We do streams, we do recaps, we do all sorts of different things around here. I try to cover as many kind of parts of media as I possibly can. Things I'm mostly interested in. Sports, video games, TV shows and movies, all that shit. So check me out. I'm out.